everyone, and welcome to another video of Linux for absolutely beginners. My name is Chia from DevOps Easy Learning, and today we'll be going through append and redirect in Linux. Now, what is append and also what is redirect, right? And what will be the main difference between append and redirect? Append here, let's say you have something, you want to like echo something and put it into a file. You want to write into a file, right? You can either use append or redirect. But the main difference here is this though. When you are using append, for instance, if the file exists, right, what will happen is that Linux will take whatever you want to add and add it at the end of the file. If the file does not exist, it will go ahead and create a file and make sure that they put the content. And if you are using redirect, what will happen is that if the file does not exist, the redirect will go ahead and create the file, and it will go ahead and add the content. And if the file exists, though, redirect will go ahead and overwrite the content of that file and put a new content. You need to be very, very careful while using redirect. Understand exactly what you are doing before you can go ahead and use redirect, right? Because if you have, let's say on a server, we have a file that store like useful information, and you make a mistake, you use redirect, and you don't have a backup of that file, everything is gone. It is going to wipe out the content of that file and remove every single thing. And in Linux, you need to be aware too. When you delete something or you do something through the command line, there is no way that you can get it back. Linux is not a window where you delete something, it will just take it and go and store it in the trash can, right? Let's say you just right click and you say delete, it's going to the trash can, and you can go ahead and restore that if needed. Even in Windows, if you use the command line to delete something, it's all gone. Working with the command line, you need to be very, very careful before when it comes to delete, when you want to use the delete operation, or when you want to use also this redirect operation, right? Because it can kind of put you in trouble. Now, let me go ahead here and kind of pull up one of our servers here. I'm going to log in so that we can go ahead and kind of do some hands-on a little bit. This is going to log me in. Before you start also, you should make sure that you have access to a Linux server. Now I'm going to tap ls here, and I have a couple of stuff. Now, let me kind of navigate into this particular file here. This is a directory, tab ls. I have a couple of stuff in here, and I'll go ahead and kind of we'll learn append a little bit with that. Let me go ahead and cut this file, this particular one, and this is the content. Let's say we want to add something at the end of this file. What can we do? We can use the echo command. Echo command, let's say I want to add like I love Linux in there. I love Linux. And if you're just echo I love Linux, it's going to print that, right? That's the default behavior of echo command. But let's say I don't want to print that, and instead I want to append. Double symbol, please. Single one, you go ahead and override the file. And I want to add that into this file here. And if you hit enter, as you guys can see here, permission denied. That is fine. Let us go ahead and use sudo. I'll go ahead here and type sudo, just because right now I am not the root. Let's see what is going on here. Sudo, I want to echo this, and I want to go ahead and kind of add this one into this file here called SonarCube project properties, and still having permission denied. Wow. Let's see. Permission denied to access this file. I will say ls-l. Basically, this file for sure it basically belongs to a root user, and that is correct. And also on this file, this user here have root privilege, and there is no reason why I shouldn't be doing that. Let me go ahead and switch as a root. I'll go ahead here and type sudo-i, and I will switch as a root user. And I'm going to punch my password, and I will navigate where I have that file, or I don't even need to do that. I myself, I can create a file and I can mess up with. If you just move into home, TI here and ls, I can kind of move here into this particular folder here and ls, and let me tap. I can go ahead and cut this file again. You guys will see the content, and I'll go ahead and append something. Let me go ahead also just say echo, and I love Linux. And if you just hit enter, by default, it bring that out. But if you want to add that into a file, I can go ahead here and use the append symbol. And what is the file name? I want to add it into this particular file here and hit enter. And let us go ahead here and cut that file again. As you guys can see, I love Linux was appended. And if you do this again, it's still going to append it, right? It is going to append it. If you cut it, as you can see, it put another one. Let's say I want to just say I love DevOps now. As you guys can see, it's going to put that I love DevOps. Let me use capital and hit enter. And let me go ahead and check the content of that file. As you guys can see, it put I love DevOps. Now, redirect. Redirect now, it is something else. Let me go ahead also and say I love DevOps. And let's say the file that I want to put in does not exist. I am going to call that file maybe tia.txt and hit enter. And let me go ahead here and cut tia.txt. As you guys can see here, the file was not there. What happened here is that redirect, append, basically create a file and put a content, and that's what I was trying to explain. Now the file exists. If you do this, you guys will see that it's going to append something at the end. If you do this, I love Linux, and kind of append that into the file now called tia.txt, it is going to add the content at the end. And if you cut that, you guys will see that we'll have that at the end. Now, what will happen now if you're trying to do this? Instead of using append, you use redirect. B1. Redirect will go ahead and override. First of all, let's say this file here, I want to delete the content of this file. What can I do? I can basically just do this, redirect an empty string like this and put it into this file. It will go ahead and wipe out the content of this file. Let's say I want to delete everything in that file. That's how you can delete everything, the content of the file. If you hit enter here and check the file is empty. There is no output coming, which means the file is empty. Now, let me go ahead again and trying to put something. Like I said also, if the file does not exist, what will happen? Redirect will go ahead and create that file. Let us go ahead here and put redirect. And let's say we want to call the file now tom.txt. This file does not exist. If you hit enter and if you tap ls here, we should have tom.txt, and I can go ahead and kind of cut tom.txt. As you guys can see, we have I love Linux. Then we go ahead here and just say I love DevOps also, and we're trying to redirect. You guys will see I love DevOps and see what is going to happen if it's going to add this maybe at the end. If you check this file, you'll be surprised. Why? It override I love Linux, and it basically put I love DevOps. And check this out. If you go ahead and just append I love Linux, yes, it will put this at the end, which is cool. If you cut this, this is what you have here. But as soon as you use the redirect, and let's say you want to add maybe just tia at the end, And when you check that, you will see that it basically override that file and put here in there. And that is why when you want to use redirect, please know exactly what you are doing. And this is one interview question that usually shows up a lot if you are going through DevOps or even Linux interview. What is the difference between append and redirect? The main difference here, the main difference is this: if the file does not exist, redirect or append will go ahead and create a file and put a new content. And if the file exists already, redirect will go ahead and override the content of the file, while append will go ahead and add a new content at the end. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please let me know in the comment below. And also, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Also, if you have not yet follow up on social media, please go ahead and do so. Thank you. Bye-bye.